All right, friends, it's Cian. I'm back. I'm going to do another review of the lifting slave. None other than Jason Blaha, Strength and Baloney Fitness. What tools does the average lifter need to reach a 300-pound bench press? Um you need weights, and then you need a little bit of patience, and you need to overload that weight slowly. If that's your goal, to lift 300, to bench 300 pounds, then shoot for androgen receptor strength. Know what you're getting. First, know the modality that you're chasing. It's called androgen receptor strength. So you need to widen and increase the androgens, and you want to increase your bench to 300. And I'm going to explain a much more superior way to get there. Well, let's listen to what he says, and then I'll tell you the real way.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the tools that I think the average male needs to get to a 300 bench. Quite frankly, I don't think people need as much complexity as they think they do for this. I do think they need to eat. I think that the biggest thing that holds back a lot of young men is not being willing to eat enough protein and enough food over time to at least slowly gain body weight.
I'm going to have to agree with him, but it isn't just about gaining body weight. You want to build muscle, or you want to gain body weight? See what I mean?
And I want to be clear up front. This advice I'm giving you, if you don't eat enough, it's still not going to get you there, because
Well, if you don't eat enough, then your body can't produce the hormones that are needed and these androgen receptors for that forced production, and a bunch of other things too.
you have to accrue enough.
You'll have a higher catabolic hormone circulating because of the plus. Lifting causes a relative amount of stress in your body, which is going to increase cortisol, which is going to increase the catabolic hormone. That is going to affect your bench as well.
Lean tissue. I'm not telling you you need to bulk and get sloppy fat or anything. I'm simply telling you that for most of you out there, in other words, if you're average height and you choose to stay 160 pounds, okay, well, that's your problem. Again, I am not telling people they need to bulk up over 20% body fat.
So I'm going to explain to you. We know that muscle has an MND size limit. Forget about that. Boy, in this case of the lifting, the bench pressing, if you want to increase your bench press, I can tell you very simply that the best means to increase it is to overeat. Yeah, I would agree about this. He says overfeeding. I would say yes, overeat, especially protein. You could go to a buffet, eat for a couple of hours, then relax for about 1 hour, maybe about an hour, come to the gym and bench press, and notice how much better your bench press is after you've eaten for about, I don't know, 2-3 hours at the buffet. Yeah, why is that? Because what happens is you're kind of in an anabolic state because you've shut the catabolic hormone off. And that catabolic hormone has converted to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, since the myocytic androgen receptor is responsible for that forced production. It controls the strength, the myocytic androgen receptor. So if it controls the strength, then your whole purpose there is you will get an adaptation in getting more of these androgen receptors, and they widen, and these molecules bind with them, the testosterone, the hormones, and everything. So you don't want any interference from the catabolic hormone, because if it increases, then it makes it so much harder. But if you shut that catabolic hormone off by being in an anabolic growth state, by overeating and then suppressing it, and if you suppress it, it must convert to an androgen, so it doesn't compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, giving you maximum force production. That is the whole point if you truly want to be a really good bencher. If that's your goal, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, if that's your goal, then you should either go all out or don't waste your time. It's really simple, because he's going to tell you it's going to take years to bench press, which is bullshit.
Be clear on that. That is not the point I am making. Before anyone says, oh, he just wants everyone to bulk up fat. No, because I don't. I don't think think you should have to do that for a goal like a 300 bench. Now, people will say things like, well, it's genetics, I'm a hard gainer. No, you don't eat enough. That's it. And if you're worried about gaining fat, then maybe do really...
Hard gainer, you don't eat enough. It's your body just doesn't allow certain things. That's all. And it's the good majority of people that are out there, especially when it comes to muscle. They say, "Oh, I'm hard gainer." No, about fat gainer, but hard gainer. You are all hard gainers, and you reach the genetic limit. All this kind of weird stuff because muscle has an MND size limit.
Large amounts of protein overfeeding. Okay, that's another way to avoid the
High amounts of protein overfeeding are not going to get you over MND size limit. This is ridiculous.
fat gain while still accumulating lean tissue to do this. But in terms of training, I just simply don't think most people need that complex of programming. You don't, not for a 300 bench. Now, will you need to put in a lot of time? If you're not genetically gifted and genetically built for the bench press, is it going to take you a while to get there? Yes. It might take you years, and that's perfectly reasonable. A lot of guys are like, I only bench 225 now. How long do you think it'll take? It took me 2 years to get to 225.
It took him 2 years to get to 225. And I'm going to tell you something about taking 2 years to get to 225. The biggest problem with strength, this type of strength training, it'll tell you here, early changes. Researchers suggest that within the first 2 weeks of complete inactivity or immobilization, noticeably changes in muscle size and strength can occur. Some studies have shown that muscle protein synthesis starts to decline after a few days of disuse. It's a possibility, I don't know. The mass. Muscles, the body likes to hold on to strength for as long as it can. Inactivity for most people, non-athletes, will result in decreases in muscle strength at a rate of 1 to 3% per day, with noticeable strength loss occurring after about 2.5 weeks. But it depends on why you take the break. I don't know, vacation, I'm not sure. Here are some of the changes you could experience by not getting enough activity. Within the first few days, your activity heart rate may increase and you may lose some endurance within the first weeks. The body starts to undergo biological changes in muscle size and can lead to weight gain, so forth, so on. I don't know. So muscle can go, will you lose muscle in 10 days? I don't know about muscle. In certain cases, muscle can atrophy alarmingly fast. Bed rest, for example, can cause a 12% loss of muscle strength per week, and exposure to zero gravity can result in a 20% loss of muscle mass after only 5 to 11 days. What do they mean by zero gravity? Being in bed? Even riding a bike could be considered zero gravity somewhat. But those are extreme cases. Strength and muscle loss doesn't happen all at once. No, doesn't. But I know that within 10 days, if you leave the gym, that strength can start to go. So according to experts, it varies depending on age and fitness levels, but it may be quicker than you think. Every person is different, but it typically takes 2 to 3 weeks to lose strength, said Sergio Piemonte, a Toronto-based certified personal trainer, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. How fast do you lose strength from not lifting? Well, it's 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. They'll tell you 2 to 3 weeks. I say, with 2 to 3 weeks. I say within 10 days, you leave the gym. That strength starts to go. So he tells you you're going to spend 2 years trying to get a bench, 2, 3 something years to get a bench. And then if you leave the gym, if you go away within 2 to 3 weeks, that strength is going to go away. Is going to start going away.
How long do you think it'll take me to get 300? It might take.
So what is the point of chasing that type of strength? The better strength is to build myofibulars so that you have absolute strength like a gorilla who doesn't have to practice at bench pressing 4,000 pounds and having the strength of 20 men. If you focus, you put all your attention into building myofibulars, then that strength is absolute. You understand me? That you do not have to practice at lifting because now you have something physical that is permanent. See what I mean? There are 2 ways of building myofibular size, but only one is much more permanent than the other. I would say, they're both somewhat permanent, but one is much more permanent. Yeah.
You another 3 or 4 or 5 years, but you don't need complex programming to get there. What you need is just a few exercises. Like quite frankly, I don't think we even need a lot of supplemental work. When I start talking about all this
I would disagree with him. He's chasing androgen receptor strength, which they're not responsible for that mass. That's why you should find out what is responsible for the mass, and then, which you do already know what's responsible for it, it's the myonuclei, which the satellite cell donates. That's right. In activity, but it's very specific activity, but that domain ended with your newbie gains when you first came in the gym, and then it takes on a secondary shift, sarcoplasmic, because you're an endurance trainer, because you're chronically lifting again. See what I mean?
Incline benching and other stuff I have a lot of guys do. These are guys with certain weak points. So, we can do incline and things to work on those weak points. We can do other shoulder work.
I don't know, according to Blaha, hyperplasia doesn't exist, so I guess he's going to have to be a lifting slave the rest of his life.
And I think for people with certain sticking points who have built a base already, I think like the incline, for example, I think it's a phenomenal exercise. Right? Specifically for certain weak points, people who have problems with that middle transition point on a max bench, getting strong at incline will help you with that. It'll help you a lot.
Getting strong, look, anything that you put a challenge to your body, the difficulty of it will definitely, your body will have to adapt by giving you these androgen receptors for that force production. So man, this is not like it's rocket science, bro. Look. This is the strength that Jason Blaha is chasing. Myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength, but not the mass of the limb muscles. So when, how should I put it? Importantly, we show that AR deficiency in limb myositis impairs myofibrillar organization, sarcomeres decreases muscular strength, thus demonstrating that myocytic AR controls key pathways required for maximum force production. So without him, if you lose them, there goes your force production. If you get more of them, you get more force production. So there you go.
It'll help you a lot. However, if we're going to bring it down to the most simple tools, guys need to work on pause benching. That is a big problem I see with a lot of guys who struggle to get to a 300. They're just touching going all the time. Stop doing that. Start pausing all your reps. Watch the benching I did here in this video there. Notice all those reps were paused? All those reps were paused. Some of those last reps, were done.
Have you seen some of these people, man? Like, look at this, for example. I posted on my channel a kid bench pressing. Little Asian kid. Think about it. How is he bench pressing this weight? Let me see if I could find it. It's here somewhere. Hold on. Because I just started posting a lot of stuff after. He is here definitely. Hold on. There he is. So watch this little Asian kid. He's not even practiced at lifting. He's skinny. Look at him. He's just a skinny little kid, not even practiced at lifting. When I was 19, I was able, without practicing, I was able to bench 315 with no problem. Now look at this kid right here. Watch this. That's just under 300. Can you imagine this little skinny kid that probably weighs 110 pounds or something? He benched that without practicing.
Let's go. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's go, yeah, yeah.
Do you think he's strong? Do you think that that little Asian kid is strong because he could bench press around close to 300? Do you think he's strong?
For the last reps, we're done with 2 or 3 second pauses. You've got to learn to stay tight and pause. Quit trying to cheat your way through a bigger bench. Look, if you want to later do an arch and get up on your toes and all that stuff for competition or to test your max, go ahead. Stop trying to build your bench that way. Get in, get tight, pause on your chest on all your reps. Get those heels on the floor. Dig in tight.
He's stronger than Blaha, that little Asian kid. He weighs like 110 pounds.
You don't need a massive arch. Work on building your chest. Work on being able to explode from the bottom. All right,
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Young people are always going to be stronger than old people. And they don't even have to practice that much at being strong because their body is efficient. It works better, it's stronger, their hormones are a lot higher, they're more regulated. They just are going to be stronger somewhat. They're stronger.
Number one. Number two, you need to be doing some lat work.
But they're small in stature, their body size. So could you say that they're physically weaker because they have a small body, but they have a strong lift? I don't know. I guess it's relative.
Again, why? It will help you explode out of the bottom. It'll help you control the eccentric. Well, back work in general. I'm doing pull-ups in this video. You can do rows. Main thing is you need your lats. You need your posterior delts. You need your traps bigger. You need to work the middle and upper back. It will give you a stable platform to bench from. It will help you, again, power off the chest.
I could tell you without practice, I could do 100-pound arm curls. Arm curls, 100-pound. I always had good arms when I was young, but I could curl 100 pounds in the gym without practicing. I could bench 315. I could row over 300 something from my back. I could squat at least 315 without practicing, man. And that was when I was young. I was a young person. Yeah, man. So I could go back and say what was my natural strength as opposed to my practiced strength. You need to figure out, all of you need to figure out, you probably don't even remember, I'm not sure, you have to think about it. What is your natural strength, and then figure out what your goal is for your practiced strength. See what I mean? Here's another thing. Now that you start practicing at getting stronger at these lifts, let's just say, right? Let's say this strength goes away. Will you lose a lot of your natural strength because you kept practicing a lot, putting your body through stress? Will you lose a lot of that over time? Well, that's hard to say because as you get older, you get weaker and you start losing muscle mass after 30. See what I mean, man? It's a battle. It's an uphill battle. You have so many good years when you're young, and then things just start going downhill and you're now trying to fight to go uphill. And as you get older and older, you're fighting harder and harder now. You understand me? You are fighting harder.
In fact, bigger lats will help you slingshot the weight out of the bottom a little bit. Right? They'll help you there.
Yeah, slingshot.
Getting better speed off the chest.
I put up something in my community section. Speed definitely helps with strength, but not going to maximum effort. A lot of people go to failure. They say, go to failure, that will help you with strength. No, it doesn't. There's no difference between failure and regular lifting. What you need is speed. The speed is what helps with, you notice that power lifters, they use a lot of speed to lift stuff off the floor. Even Olympic lifters, when they do a snatch, they'll like throw weight up in the air. They throw a lot of weight because it's the speed, the velocity that they're looking for. The faster the velocity, the more of this strength you'll get, the stronger you'll get at it.
And if you can get it moving faster, guess what? You don't have to grind early.
You don't have to
this, you'll probably need more specialized work. This is where we start looking at, hey, do I need more shoulder work? Do I need more incline work?
Yes, incline work. Yes, shoulder work. That's it.
But it is my opinion that these are the tools that will get the average guy to, 300 bench. Again, if they are willing to gain enough muscle. The diet has to be on point. You have to be eating.
Yes, of course you have to.
I really do mean these are the exercises that can get most of you there. And again,
I have no idea what he's doing here with these elastics, man.
as you start to get more and more advanced and it becomes harder to gain muscle, then obviously we need to get thick everywhere.
The more advanced you get, the harder it gets to gain muscle. It reaches MND size limit, bro.
There can definitely come a point where it's like we need more shoulder work. We might need your back. But
You could try, but you don't know what you're doing to get more muscle. That's your problem.
lots of pause work. Build that chest off the bottom.
No, don't do any pause work. You need speed, and you can check my community section. There's a meta-analysis there. I just put it up. It's called Effects of Movement Velocity During Resistance Training on Dynamic Muscular Strength and Systematic Review Meta-Analysis. And their conclusion was that resistance training performed at fast movement velocities using moderate intensity showed a trend to superior muscular strength gains as compared to moderate slow resistance training. So why would you want to do pausing when speed is the answer, velocity? I'll see you in the next one. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Comment down below. It helps the algorithm. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.